Hi, I'm Parker Miley.
I'm Tim Benjamin.
And this is the Rage Podcast, where today we're going to discuss something that has been on my mind for a good 2 to 3 weeks, okay? And it all started with me hearing the old hymn called Faith of Our Fathers. It's a great hymn. I strongly encourage you all to listen to it. It's beautiful. It has a good message. But I started to think, what is the faith of our fathers? And it's kind of got me spiraling into all these different, I guess, I don't want to call them rabbit holes, but it can take a lot different directions. And I think it's important to understand what does that mean in the current day of 2021, about to enter 2022.
Yeah.
What is the faith of our fathers?
Yeah. In a time when we want to pretend like nothing happened before 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And we're tearing down statues and trying to rewrite history and all that stuff. Yeah. What is the faith of our fathers? I think that's a good question for us to consider today. Because honestly, without it, we got nothing. And I'm afraid that our current generation doesn't want to identify that. How we are the product of what came before us. And to deny that is just goofy.
And notice how Tim even pointed out some large things that we have already done. That means, with those large examples, that means that the foundation behind that already is wiping away history and past, and people nowadays think that we cannot learn anything that was 10 years ago. We're learning. It's. Yeah. Tim said what we're doing is pretty much reinventing the wheel. And we see that all the time. I know, especially I see it all the time. And
yeah, I'm getting to the age now where I start watching people who are younger than me come up with these great new ideas that I'm like, I read about that 20 years ago in seminary. So, yeah, it's there's very few new things under the sun, as the writer of Ecclesiastes tells us, and we would do well to learn from those mistakes before we have to make them all again. So
I would like to. We're going to read a Bible verse that's going to kind of hopefully guide us the rest of the episode, and it comes from Romans chapter 4. Verse 16. So here is that. That is why it depends on faith, in order that the promise may rest on grace and be guaranteed to all his offsprings, not only to the adherent of the law, but also to the ones who share the faith of Abraham, who is the father of all of us. Okay? Now, when I say the name Abraham, hopefully if you have any base knowledge of history,
he's kind of an important guy.
Of the Bible, he's an important guy. But we know to go way back to the couple front pages of this book. So, I mean, what we got to realize is the Bible is full of knowledge and whatnot. We cannot discredit for being a great guideline to life. But when I look at this, we're seeing years upon years upon years upon years upon
centuries
years.
And centuries.
Yes, that are represented through this book. And what I find disappointing is how we have lost kind of the mindset to look back before we can look forward.
Yes, that's well said. Because, we're always wanting to charge forward. And look, I'm never going to fault anybody for wanting to charge forward, because that's me. That's my thing. Let's try to but we can't charge forward at the expense of forgetting how we got where we are. And I'll tell you what will happen is if you don't pay attention to what happened before you, you're going to end up going like this, big circle. Because you're going to have to go around and relearn the lesson again. And I think that erasing history and forgetting where we came from and not having respect for the people who came before us, who gave us what we have today, can result in shallowness in the present day.
I think the church loses a lot of meaning, and I see it all the time, like within some Christian pastor, up and coming, cool guy, fancy haircut, jean jacket, whatnot. Okay,
obviously not talking about the pastor.
Not talking about any
especially the cool haircut. But yeah.
But they get up there and I see a lot of Christians not understand that we're not new. This isn't a new thing. This isn't a new movement or anything. There's been plenty of movements within the faith, but the faith itself has been around for a while. Okay. And so when we get up there, and I mean, I say when we get up there, but when we start to dive into our faith, we cannot just go in and saying, we cannot just be like, oh, this is such a shocking discovery that Jesus died on the cross for me. This is so crazy that there's this guy Abraham who's going to have many sons. Like those are some of the guiding things that are being learned.
Yeah.
And everything else.
Yeah, I've done a lot of work in the Emmaus community, and it always kind of, I mean, I'm always happy when somebody has their eyes open, so don't take this the wrong way. But I'm always sad in a way when I have people on an Emmaus weekend, they have this very powerful experience, and then they start talking about the Bible, and they'll say the same thing every time. They'll say, I've never heard this before. People who've been in church for years, and look, I'm not blaming the pastor. I'm sure the pastor talked about it. Maybe they weren't ready to hear it. I mean, there's a lot of things, but that's a lot of meaning. That's a lot of character building. It's a lot of spirituality. It's a lot of discipleship. We leave on the table when we forget everything prior to yesterday. Yeah. And I think that we would do well to, not certainly not be tied to the past, but be rooted to the past.
The past, okay, I like that. But I think the past is technically supposed to be tied to us, not us tied to the past.
Correct.
The past, we actually, as
we're
we
a product
progress,
of the past.
we are supposed to be taking the valuable things that our fathers, that our people that are before us have done and that have already learned from, and take that and move go
forward
with it.
Yeah, and see, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second because you're making an excellent point. Is a lot of people though want to make the goal to turn around and go back to the past. That's not good either.
No, that's not good.
That's not the right thing either. But the past should be, it should inform the future. It should enrich the present. It should be a part of who you are. All those lessons learned and all those experiences there and the tradition and all those things that go into that should be spurring us toward the future so that we are building our future's past.
So, and here's why I love this Bible verse in general, but kind of the whole story that is portrayed throughout the Bible itself. So Abraham, he was told by God that he was going to have many sons. That they'd be more than the numbers, the stars in the sky,
sands of the seashore.
Yes. And so the son, and it's often referred to, son of Abraham and Abraham the father. Okay, so we see a relationship kind of as a family bond. Okay. So we have the father who is going to teach the offspring and everything else and kind of educate and help them learn from what he's already got grasped, okay? That doesn't happen anymore. And I don't see that. And you may think, well, yada, 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 that's why we have Pastor Tim here and whatnot. But no, the faith is supposed to be in the household of every believer.
Yeah. And I don't live in everybody's house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that you're right. I mean, look, I have a lot of respect for the pastor I grew up with. His name was Calvin Wall. Honestly, one of the greatest men I ever knew. I had the privilege of going back and do his funeral last summer, and it was such a privilege to be there. However, yeah, he was one of the pillars of my faith, but I actually got my faith from my home.
Yes.
My dad was a very, very faithful man. My mom was too, but my dad really was great about that and helped guide me and all that stuff. So I do this job today. I learned a lot of the technical things from Calvin, but I got a lot of the basis from my father, faith of my father, literally in my case. And I think that's very, very important because I'm thankful every day that I got to have that because I know not everybody does.
Yes, and I'm going to already start to see some questions pop into some people's minds. Yeah. Like, well, what if I'm a first-time believer? My parents don't do this or don't do that. That happens, and I know that situation.
Yes.
That does not mean that you are not a part of this greater family and and you will find a father of the faith. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and Bill Gaither, we're all part of the family of God. He sang the song, and I think that we don't need to deny that. We need to embrace that and let that inform who we are today, just like Parker's saying.
This is a part of Christianity that isn't here today. I mean, I don't think it's being taken away. I don't think it's here. The fact that it's a family thing. Like we're obviously every single one of us we're told to evangelize and preach to all the nations and everything else.
Sure.
So that means when I become a father, when I become in years to come, when I get that, and then I start to raise children and everything else, I'm going to evangelize to my own children. I'm going to teach them the faith and everything else. And that's how it kind of works. I mean, Christianity, I don't want to say you got to be born into it because that's definitely not right.
No, definitely not right.
But the fact that it's supposed to be a unifying learn. I mean, how I wish I could just say
Well, the word-
figure out how I want to explain.
Yeah, the word you're trying to get to is connection. We're connected to the past, we're connected to each other, we're connected to our church family, we're connected to the scriptures, we're connected to God, and all these connections that we experienced in the past are empowering us in the present, and they're spurring us toward the future. And I think that when we say, well, the past, everything in the past is over and done with, and we take out a whole lot of the experience and a whole lot of the discipleship, and we don't claim our heritage, so to speak, in that we are a part of a great cloud of witnesses, like the book of Hebrews tells us.
Yeah.
And I think in the midst of that, it makes the present very shallow. Because now today is the product of whatever I feel.
Yeah.
And I could feel a lot of things.
Today is the product of, like, I mean, and we've been using some crazy examples of saying, like,
Yeah.
well, you never knew that Jesus died on the cross when you open, and whatnot. And that's bizarre. But that's pretty much what the example is. If we don't have, the connection between, the family of believers, okay? If we don't have the connection between the scriptures and understanding how all these things come together, and how deep that goes back, and how that is the same faith that, all the sons of Abraham, from Paul to the people that we are talking about, that from the people that we read in this book, that we all have kind of had the same connections, then Christianity loses one beautiful thing that it has. It truly is phenomenal to sit back and realize that.
Well, we even have a word for this. The word is apostolic. We were all apostles. Now, obviously, none of us can be apostles today because I'm not 2,000 years old. But we have a tradition that we can trace ourselves back to the original apostles. And that faith was shared from them, and it went out from there and all that stuff. And here today, this kid from Hardin County, Ohio, has faith because of what was shared forward from these guys clear back to the beginning. That's why we call it, that's the apostolic piece of our faith. And to deny that, or to pretend like we're trying to figure this all out for the first time again, we're leaving such a valuable piece of the puzzle on the table when we don't realize what we are a product of. We're not even a part of Wayne Street United Methodist Church. This church we're in here, we're part of a capital C church, which is everywhere. It looks different. It sounds different. It speaks different languages.
That's what's lost.
Yeah, that
is what's lost. The Catholic little C Catholic, universal church.
Yeah.
The fact that I have the same bond kind of with this whole faith from people all the way across the world, from people all the way 2,000 years back in time.
Yeah, we're clear back to the Apostle Paul, who wrote Romans. We just read from even him.
It's all. We all share this thing, and it's a very deep thing. It's not like we're talking about hair color here.
Yeah.
It is something that is powerful. That is a foundation of hopefully a lot of people's lives are listening to this. And if we lose that, as Tim mentioned, that puzzle piece, that beauty that is behind of recognizing that this faith is what is the glue that holds every one of us together.
Yeah, I've traveled all over the world, and I've been in many places where I didn't have a translator because we couldn't understand each other. But you start talking about the church, and there was an instant bond. People who had no experience to share with my own, we'd never met before. But we could talk about Jesus. We could discuss Romans. We had to have an interpreter, because again, or a translator, because we couldn't speak to each other. But the concepts we both got. And I've had that experience, in the Philippines, in Africa, Israel, Haiti, Guatemala. I've seen it everywhere. And in all these experiences, there was something there that rooted us together that neither one of us may be able to explain completely, but it was very clearly there. And that's a very cool thing. And when we don't embrace that apostolic piece of our faith and realize we're a part of the capital C church, we just become a part of a building on the corner of right here. And that's so much smaller than what the church actually is. So it's something for us to really give some thought to of this great, amazing thing that we're a part of. Because we want it to be healthy, we want it to be thriving, we want it to be growing, we want it to be disciple making, so that someday, when Parker and I hand this off to the next generation, they've got something wonderful. It's not broken, it's not sick, it's not fighting. It is still vibrant and living, so that they can say, gosh, look what we're a part of. Parker and Tim and you guys in the audience and the people at Wayne Street and the people who's got names on the wall around here that we don't even know who they are, and clear back into the Bible. That's what we're connected to. And it's still changing lives to this day. And I feel like if we don't realize that we're a part of such a great movement, we're just a part of another club. And let's be honest, we're all part of enough of those. So
So I guess to wrap up,
Yeah.
remember the faith of your fathers.
Yeah.
And
And we're not talking about your
no, not
physical father. We mean the people who came before you.
the people. Yes, the people who came before us.
Yeah. And because without them, we wouldn't have it at all. So, yeah, it's just so very vital. So, thank you all for being a part of this episode. As always, Parker and I appreciate you being here. And we hope that you will take some time to consider that great connection that you share. Something that like Parker said, goes way back.
Yeah.
Literally to the beginning.
Yes.
It's talking about Abraham. And you're still a part of that today. And we have been given responsibility for that connection today to maintain it so that we have something then to pass on to the next generation. And we pray that that's what we're doing.
I'm going to say one last thing, and
Go
it's
ahead.
kind of unrelated, but I would like it if whoever watches this video today, next week, or whatnot, maybe share it with a friend, share it with a family member.
Yeah,
but
like, share, subscribe.
yes,
That's what
yeah.
YouTubers say.
Okay, but it's just me and Tim doing this crazy, goofy thing that
Yeah.
we truly haven't mastered it yet. We may think we have it sometimes, but
Not even close.
we're just on here, hopefully trying to share a positive message, some encouragement for your
Absolutely.
week. We do weekly episodes of this, so I just ask, maybe share with a friend or
Yeah.
a family member or something.
Or leave a comment, email us, tell us we're wrong.
It's only we know
a number
please.
of you have not been afraid to do that.
If you can't share with a friend, please fight us.
Yeah. Let's argue. Let's do this.
But I think there's a lot of bad and negative and things that we see on our phone and in entertainment.
Yeah,
and
you
everything
can find
else.
it here on YouTube. Not hard to find.
But so maybe having something to look forward to. I don't want to say hopefully that we're something that you look forward to, but maybe just seeing something encouraging.
yeah, we're trying to encourage you.
Yeah.
And we all, and like Park said, we appreciate you guys who a few viewers we have, and hope somehow this helps you think about things in a broader, more fulfilled way. So
Yeah.
all right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.